Good night, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Trifactor podcast. This should be episode 12 going up. So tonight we're gonna start off on somebody who Andre used to know. Remind me of right now.
I don't know how much times. I'm here. They're going to talk about Usher.
Right now, no, it's actually that big tune. You remind me of somebody that I used to know. But you don't listen to them kind of tune now, boy. Yeah, but right now, Jose remind me of somebody that you used to know, boy. You don't like the man again at
somebody
all.
You used to know.
I mean,
somebody you used to know.
Yeah, he touched up my side a couple of
times. He reminded you about somebody who, he reminded you of somebody who used to be good and then was hanging on to that legacy for too long. What is happening when you hang on too long?
I mean, so if you were an NFL fan, you wouldn't like some coaches because once you win a Super Bowl in NFL, it's sure to get a job. So
even if the current incarnation is garbage.
I mean, so to you, is what have you done for me lately? For sure.
I ain't saying that, but it is more what have you done for me lately than what you've done though. So if you can't do nothing to undo what Jose has done or whatever, supposedly, right? So you can't undo that. But if I don't even know what's the number of years now. So since he came back to Chelsea.
Okay, he won.
He won the first season or so, or whatever, when Diego Costa was still there and thing.
Yes.
And then
Diego there?
Yeah, I think so. The first season he was back, I think so. But then since then is season after season of saying, wait now, this man, he lost it though. He ain't have it no more, whatever.
The guy says same manager, different players, you know. What do you think about that?
True.
What do you think about that?
True.
What do you think about that?
He's the same in name only. Man. He ain't have it though.
So he came back in Chelsea in 2013 and then he left in 2015. I think he won the Europa Cup 2016. So it's about 5 years now that he has not been a winner. The special one. He has not been a special
one. In the league, right?
Well, in the league it's been about 8 years. But saying he won the Europa League with Man U, I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Maybe. No, you ain't giving him that?
He himself called that the little horse trophy, or whatever the hell he called it. When he was winning Champions League, he called the Europa League or garbage league and all kind of thing and blah blah. Now that's what he went. He hanging on to that. Like,
but men just move the goalposts, Andre. Look, men saying fourth and third is a battle. When Arsenal was perennially fourth, it was laugh. Yeah.
I ain't have time for that. So for me, Jose need to hush him out. So, like I tell you, like I've said it, there's enough footage now of me saying, I cannot wait for this man to finally be out of the top 4 leagues, so the conversation around him is done. So,
wow.
I'm tired of the shipping. So now, so it's the same problem I've seen it now since Manchester United. So you're watching the teams play.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't buy into the negative narrative per se. Oh, it's playing. Not necessarily. I've seen teams set up a certain way, but there's it's not negative, but it's almost like, how the English old school people. So, if you listen to ridiculous old school people talking on it, right? So if you listen to, what's his name, boy?
Gary.
What's the No, boy.
Huddle.
No, the man who's real gay on
Tim Sherwood.
Pogba. Just have a man who's real gay on Pogba.
Roy Keane.
He used to be a manager. Nah. Anyway, but if you listen to the old school men talking, they used to talk about being up for a game, right? They used to talk about players being up for a game and coming out ready for a game and thing, right?
Yeah.
So the one thing I will say, all of the teams since Manchester United, too many times they come to games and they're not up for the game. Too many times they come to games and the other team just basically running the beginning of the game. The other team is basically the only one that really seemed to be going into challenges, winning their 50-50s and things like that. So many of the Tottenham performances that have been bad is just where it's the same lineup, same players, same thing that just performed well last week, but then they just come out to the game and it seems like they didn't really come ready to play. And it's not because they're being defensive. They're not sitting back deep or something. They're not defending. They're just not inspired. They're not rushing. Like, they're not inspired. They didn't come into the game wanting to play at all. Like, they come into the game and they just think, all right, I'm going to just go through this for 90 minutes and everything good. And it's too many performances. You know, the word is insipid, right? But there's so many performances of his team since Manchester. I wouldn't say Chelsea didn't look like that per se. Chelsea, I think, was more with the negative narrative. They were trying to hold on to too much stuff, whatever. Tottenham and Manchester United had way too much performances where the team come out and the other team, whether it be Crystal Palace, West Brom, a team in FA Cup from third division or something, the other team just seem ready to, let me come and bat this man hard, let me hit this shot, let me whatever, where his team looking like, I wouldn't really want to be here type of thing. So I will say this last game on Sunday, I was tweeting like a madman during that game for the first time in a while. Right? This was the first game Tottenham show up in the recent, I would say probably a month and a half or so, 2 months or so.
Yeah.
Where they were up for the game in the first half.
Right, yeah. True.
They came out in the first half and that man was batting hard, like hard jam. I remember Højbjerg batting man real hard.
Yeah.
Lo Celso was running into it was just they was up for the game. But then I think, and I said this to you in the chat.
Yeah.
I think Jose sabotaged the game. He went and take off Lo Celso. Now, I don't know if the man injured. I don't know if he complained about something halftime, whatever. But he took off Lo Celso and brought on my boy, what's his name? Musa Sissoko. And from there was Manchester United game. Because Lo Celso obviously is a better player in transition. So they no longer had a player in transition and it started forcing Harry Kane to have to drop back into literally the half line and thing.
Boy, that man set me up, boy. Anyway, go ahead.
Who, Kane?
Harry Kane, boy. He putting on, boy.
Yeah. He couldn't with the second half like that. If Spurs had continued playing the way they played in the first half, that game could end up 2-2, 3-2 to Manchester, whatever. But once Jose take off Lo Celso, that is it. Game done. So all his sideshow shipper talk antics and blah blah blah.
All he started thing though.
All that side talk is fun when you're winning. When you're winning, have a show now, man. Talk all kind of thing. When there's an inter, you could put up your hand and say is intellectual prostitution, all kind of thing you could say. It's all fun and games when you're winning. When you're losing and your team looking insipid again, I don't do a lot of this. I don't like narratives because people like to say things that make a nice stories upon Netflix or whatever. I want to talk about facts that we see. I don't want to hear about there's rumors in the dressing room. I don't want to hear exactly. I don't want to hear no rumors in the dressing room, and I want to hear facts, like Rafa say, right? I want to hear the facts. The facts is all right. You watch his teams; they're insipid. You watch the results; it's trash. You watch the squad. Now, granted, I will say from on top of a mountain that Davinson Sanchez is terrible. That was my boy named Dyer.
When is Dyer and Underwear played Sunday?
Rodon play.
Rodon.
But so Dyer and Davinson, I will shout from on top of a mountain, they are trash. But that Tottenham squad, it's good enough. It's good enough to do better than he's doing. It's good enough for him to be doing better than Moyes. It's good enough for him to be doing better than Leicester. Because Leicester's a thin team. Leicester, they lose one player and it's garbage. Tottenham have enough depth. Tottenham have enough quality. They bought fairly well, in my opinion. So
I don't think they have enough depth, though.
Who?
Okay, so name one person that could come off the bench that is above average player.
Eric Lamela is an above average player. He's not garbage.
I don't rate him. Anyway, he scored a nice goal against us.
Eric Lamella's good.
He really inconsistent was.
Bourgeois or however you pronounce
good,
his name.
Wait, I forget him. Like
he's there. Lo Celso doesn't play all the games. All right, so Musa Sissoko is the kind of level that is a sub player that really is not helping you off the bench. But right, but yeah, Gary Bale too. Gary Bale doesn't start every game, so it's kind of right.
Gary Bale don't play anymore.
So just look, the idea that compare squads though, right? You're talking about Gary Bale, he passes peak. All right, versus Jared Bowen, who plays for West Ham up front.
No, but then there's some hard running guys.
Right, so I'm just saying. So the squad is not garbage. There are some garbage elements for sure that have been garbage since Pochettino and stuff like that. But you know, that sideshow talk.
I don't think Levy give him the backing, the financial backing. Who he brought in for him, boy? Bale?
Sergio Reggaeton.
Yeah, Reggaeton was a good
and Dombele.
Goodbye.
Right back Doherty was supposed to be a level up.
Ooh. Yeah,
then he bought Bourgeois.
Okay.
He bought Vinicius as a backup center forward.
No.
He bought he didn't have a center forward backup.
But you're right, he bought all those came in Jose time. He did get.
He invested.
He did.
He invested.
Bourgeois came in Jose time or before?
Yep.
Okay.
So Jose time.
But defense, the Rodon was the defender they bought.
Who's the defender they buy? Boy, nobody. They didn't buy no center back. They just bought Doherty and Regulon. They bought two wing backs.
Two wing backs. Half of
two wing backs to try to upgrade the scene.
Yeah.
So, man, he got back in. Fair enough. I don't know. I don't read the. Again, I don't really read a lot of rumor thing about because it's so unverifiable, right? So, you know, I need to trust somebody from Athletic or Talk Sport or whoever the hell go and tell me that, Jose really wanted XYZ instead of... I don't care. The fact of the matter is, Ndombele is a very good player.
Yeah.
Oh, they bought Højbjerg too. Yeah. Højbjerg is a Jose player. They bought him for Jose. So they bought Højbjerg, Ndombele, Doherty, Sergio Reguilon.
I think Ndombele, anytime he plays deeper, I think he becomes nullified for some reason. To me, when he plays higher, he's more dynamic.
He like Fred, isn't it? he like Fred. He's not really a DM. When you look at it, he's not really a defensive midfielder. He's a weird kind of in between. He's not really a number 10.
Don't disrespect Ndombele. No disrespect Ndombele. Anyway,
I'm saying the quality though.
Don't disrespect. But for me, Jose, I understand what you're saying. When you're not winning, the talk when you put out seems less charismatic and more petty. But I'm here for the pettiness.
So you telling me? So first of all, though, I just want to make sure I touch on this. That call was not a controversial call. Like dog, the referee missed it. The referee missed is as simple as if a referee sees a man hand hit somebody in the face, and I'm a player that I play with my hand. I am used to I pull out my hand, but because I tall, I hit somebody in the neck, the chin, and men crying and say, okay. Yeah, sure. As a player, I'm like, yeah, that's real garbage, man, balling for nothing, whatever. Okay. But we've all been watching football for 20 years. Everybody knows hand to face, no matter how incidental, accidental. If the referee sees hand to face, it's a call. It's always a call. Now, if we want to change that narrative into son lie down on the ground and my son, if my son do that, because I think what's his name? I think Ole was having a little poetic, he was enjoying himself now, double on top. Like you want to say son and his son, right? So he enjoying himself. So Ole threw a little talk. All that garbage, for me, that's a sideshow that had nothing to do with the reality is on VAR, how could a referee justify seeing a man hand hit somebody in the face and then saying, yeah, that's nothing? No way. It has that has never been okay. And actually, what used to happen where all of you used to be vexed is you watch a man fall down and people get red card and thing, and then you watch and it's the hit him in the neck, hit him in the chest, and the man go, Rivaldo, right? So it was actually faced, dog. All right, it's a foul. And that started the sideshow talk. He made a bad sub. And you need to own that. You need to own he made a bad sub that completely gave the impetus to Manchester United.
Okay. So you're blaming the whole game on a sub?
I think so. I think so because it was actually a very balanced game.
It was a good game.
It was a very good game. Well, it wasn't real good like neutral, there's real chances or something, but it was a real solid game. Like you're seeing good tackles, good tries on things, good defending, good but then second half it became way more one-sided. As soon as it was literally as soon as. And I remember in our chat, right? In our chat, was it Torman? Message say, what kind of sub is that? And I'm like, yep, that's the same thing I saying. What kind of that's sub gonna change the game, is it?
So we could transition into something you seem passionate about.
Who's that about?
A player that had a good game, mad match for you. Fredinho.
For sure. So Fred, I went and pulled some stats. I hope it didn't have a shortcut way to pull them stats, because I spent a lot of time pulling them stats.
I see that man pull that stats in like 2 minutes, though.
Where you get all them line graph and thing, I didn't know. So I pull CSV file and put it in Excel and thing to get my numbers. Anyway, so Fred is getting real slander. So one of the things I think happening is I think Jose Mourinho fundamentally he mind games work on the Manchester United fan base. At least to my memory. I don't remember Manchester United fans being so Jose-like, so messy and petty. Right? So I find since Jose, it started with the slander and the banter of Lukaku, right? Since then, there's been there's a way that Manchester United fans kind of target their own players now.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
That I'm not used to from them. I used to that from Arsenal fans are known for that. Manchester United fans now have this thing where basically every game they're lamenting, if Fred was better.
Racial abuse? Anyone?
Nah, not racial abuse, but like if this player was better and it's this player that holding us back from the next level now. Which is, for me, that's Jose's tactic. That's what Jose used to do. He used to, make it about this one little thing, that if we get blah. So there's every game on my timeline, there's all this Fred slander where the focus is on, look, the reality is, of course, the truth is, the man is not, Fernandinho get by from Shakhtar, the next Brazilian center midfielder DM from Shakhtar was Fred.
Yeah.
Okay, he is not Fernandinho level. He is not the same profile of player. He does have, his quality that he lacks. So there's right? So you play enough to know. So sometimes you have passes it's a simple pass if there's nobody marking it. But if somebody marking it, you have to be a little bit clever on how you hit the pass, right? He lacks that quality. And I'm saying that precise quality is the quality he misses. The one specific one is, dog, you can't telegraph a pass and not put something extra on it to make sure it gets through, right? So he just real misplaced some short passes.
Right.
Short, simple passes. All right, that's one flaw. And then his second flaw is he's very overzealous in a tackle. So, and you play against men like this too, who is wild men, who they're so wild, that before, like if a ball coming to you 50-50,
easy food. Easy food.
You could do, right, you do a running turn, or you use your body, and he bouncing off and think because he's too wild, right? Yeah. So he does that. So that's his two fundamental flaws as a player. But beyond that, dog, Fred is a very solid player. Like just a baseline, solid player, and I'm saying that from years of just watching different players. Mm-hmm. So there's players like Muntari back in the day. There's players like Darren Fletcher on Manchester United.
Like Xhaka.
Well, Xhaka has some quality in his kicking of the ball. Anyway, I don't want to talk about your boy and get you started, right?
Nah, you're not going to get started on him.
But
man playing good this season, I give him that. Go ahead.
But basically, Fred, because of his quality on those two issues that you have, every game you're going to have at least 2 instances where he's going to show that. Yeah. There's going to be 2 instances where there's a good counter-attack coming up and he has to hit a simple pass to Bruno, so Bruno can hit the ball or whatever, and he misplaced that pass, right? And we're like, right, okay. and then there'll be a next time where some team having like a counter-attack and Fred running hard, and he managed to hit him a running tin or quick belt and going through, right? Okay. So men want to focus on that and say, that's why we lose the game. And it's just like, dog, if you think that's why you lose the game, you're lying to yourself. So much so a man say on the Sunday game, the goal they concede was all from Fred 40 seconds earlier, rushing Lo Celso too early. And that imbalanced the whole team. And that's the reason why, first of all, Maguire was way out of position. Second of all, Wan-Bissaka was out of position. Third of all, Rashford didn't drop back. All them things is because Fred, 40 seconds earlier, rushed Lo Celso. Now, the idea that a player over-rush messed up the whole shape of the team makes sense if Lo Celso ended up being the player who ran and pulled somebody out of position. That was not the situation. You watch the thing, dog, watch the video, take your time, relax, take your emotion out, take your Jose Mourinho blaming
not very hard to take out.
Take your Jose Mourinho blaming one player, scapegoating one player out. Okay, yes, Fred made a mistake in that play. He made a mistake at the halfway line. That player was inconsequential in how the play then developed. Dog, there you go.
Yeah.
Instead, watch that game and you will see, dog, he was easily, this is without me watching stats, I was like, yeah, he's the best player on the field. Yeah. Because his overzealousness on the plus side leads to he has mad interceptions. What he does is he gets a lot of times he doesn't like, so players like Kante and stuff, when they intercept, they actually repossess the ball.
Yeah.
Fred does a lot more of he dispossesses the team, so like he tow it and then it goes to Rashford or something.
Yes. Oh, see, I was really watch Fred, boy.
So now, I'm a purveyor of truth, right? So I just make it my mission to watch anybody who I watching. So if I'm saying objectively, I watch something and this is clearly people being real biased.
Yeah.
I just then make it my mission to go watch. So is the same thing happened with me and Lukaku, right? So yeah. I had no reason to watch Lukaku before. Men start talking about Lukaku, he's the greatest and thing, and then some people saying he's the worst. So I started saying, let me watch some Everton games, let me see what's going on. So I started hearing, so first of all, I started watching Manchester United because, right, after first season, Vardy himself was the one who started real slandering Jose, right?
I wish he was here, boy. Anyway.
He's the worst and things. So I was like, all right, let me see how bad Jose really is. Let me see. So I started watching. And then I see when Fred reached, and I'm watching Fred playing and things. So at that point in time, he wasn't getting slandered. Because at that point in time, the focus was Lukaku. Everybody hate Lukaku. It's his fault. It's his fault. Then there's Alexis Sanchez. It's his fault. All right, them two gone. The focus becomes who we have. At first, there was a little bit of slander for AWB. People started talking about, he can't attack. But then they realized, nah, Manchester United fans really like Pogba.
Okay.
Which is fascinating because...
By the way, he played Sunday. Anyway, go ahead.
He did.
What a luxury player. Anyway, go ahead.
But for some reason, Fred only became the focus after Bruno. Because I think after Bruno, all the other ills kind of get patched up. So they could create goals now. Yeah. Goal scoring, Rashford playing, Bruno and him have a connection where, okay, everything good. What's the problem now? Fred. You watch Fred play, he's going to intercept the ball many times in games.
But he might give it away right after.
No, he's going to lead to, so almost so many of Manchester United's dangerous plays are them in transition. It's usually him dispossessing the team, getting it to, I don't know, a simple pass to EWB or to Bruno or to whatever. And then from there, the better creative players do a better ball or whatever. But that's thing one. But thing two, even with the progressive passes, even with the creative, the man is not bad. The man actually, so having had players on my team like Muntari, I could tell you what it looks like for a player who actually cannot really play good progressive passes. Fred actually does pick good passes. Like Fred's intelligence is very high. How I just see it is, dog, and it's something. Watch this in the next Manchester United game you watch, right? Look at how many times, and it could be, when they play early or something, I don't know. Look at how many times when Manchester United have possession and they need an out ball, look how many times the out ball is Fred.
Okay.
And look how many times the teammates take the out ball. Because the other thing in watching football for a long time you see is when teammates think a man is garbage, they don't pass to him, dog. even if he's the option, they will say, nah, I ain't passing to you because you're gonna lose the ball.
Nah, not at the professional level, man. Nah.
What?
Give my example.
Right off the top of my head, Balotelli.
Ooh.
Balotelli at Liverpool. That man stopped passing to him one time. Once they realized he on shippiness and he want to fall along on the ground and cuss all people and things, he stopped getting passed one time. Right. The next man would be Sergio Aguero complained about it the other day. He says City men not passing to him this season since he come back. He find men not taking him as the option and things like that. And he was I don't know.
The most disrespected man in the Premier League.
That's your chessboard.
Yeah, all don't respect the man. Anyway, go ahead.
But I went and pulled the stats because I know what I saw. I saw. Look, Fred was the man stitching together passes.
So compared to McTominay, you said he's a much more dynamic player. That's what you said. Even though McTominay seems to be more.
McTominay is a garbage player. What's my boy Marcus say? He is a Mickey Mouse player.
TM.
Mr. McTominay, his game. So the one quality I would say he has, and I mean, again, you're watching football a long time. You have players who they strike a ball very cleanly. Like when they hit a ball, it stays hit. McTominay has that, but his intelligence of where to be all right, this is the perfect way to explain it. So when a team playing bad, what you usually see is they feel slow, and it usually looks like they have one less player on the field.
Yeah.
Fred never makes Manchester United look like that. When Fred is on the field, there's always a pass. When the ball is on the side with McTominay, that's when you start realizing how not creative Manchester United players are. Because McTominay is end up being on the same side with EWB. Yep. And with Greenwood.
Yeah.
And it's players who look. Greenwood is a very good one-on-one player. You know, to be direct and
he can strike that ball. He can't create that chance.
But he's not a creative player. Yeah. He doesn't know when to pull short and run into a different avenue and all this sort of stuff. McTominay doesn't do it either. So as we watching AWB struggling, I'm like, where's McTominay right now? Where's McTominay for the out ball right now? Where is he? No angle. And then you have EWB looking real buff on the ball, right? You looking like McTominay is not McTominay. EWB is be looking like what's the Nigerian name, boy? The real strong man who used to play in like the championship or something.
I forget his name. Akim Femma or something. Yeah.
Right? That he's be having because AWB can't really dribble, he's look real top heavy on the ball and thing. And he by himself. Because where's McTominay?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Shaw, when Shaw had the ball,
they thought Bruno by Pogba by Fred.
He always had three options. Yeah. And then the best option is usually Fred. This be the one who's like, yep, right here. Fred seeing what happening. Fred is a man to see what happening. Fred is a man to see the interceptions that need to happen. Fred is a man to see who he needs to cover. But then his weaknesses come in. He's be overzealous.
Yeah.
So even though he's the man that cover, he get run past too easy or whatever. But Fred was Manchester United best player. The goal was a perfect example of
Which goal? Which goal?
Which one is that, boy? I think no, his goal. The goal that he scored.
Okay.
That whole play, like go and watch, go try to find that. Hopefully the highlight show it from kind of far back. But that whole play was him being the open pass from the halfway line. He get the ball in halfway line, pass it to someone there, then he continue his run. Then he stitch it up with Bruno, then he do a 1-2 on top of the box, then he hit the through ball for Cavani. Cavani shot, keeper save, he did.
Yeah.
Right? He stitched that whole play together because he see anything as a DM. Right? So obviously he's not really a DM. Obviously he's not really a DM, right? But there's this idea that he's so bad at progressing the ball and he's so bad at this and he's so not that is not true. He has 2 flaws. And everything else is strengths. And the stats that I show there, like the stats that I show that not only is he good, the man is in the top 90th percentile, 95th percentile, 96th, in almost all the stats in midfield. He's terrible. He was terrible in being dribble pass, which, I knew that. So he was one of the worst players in terms of being dribble pass in the league. He's 98 percentile.
Yeah.
Right? Bruno Fernandes, interestingly, of course, is like 100. Like he's in the top 1% of getting dribble pass. But it makes sense. It's players who put in high pressure to try to dispossess, but they could get beat because they're rushing hard or being overzealous, right?
Yeah.
So you look at the stats breakdown there, he's terrible in that, and then he was bad at
you see the short passes, you see?
But I'm trying to remember if the stat showed that too. I think the stat probably showed that too. But whatever, right? He bad in a couple of things, but then the rest of it, 95th percentile, 98th percentile, 99th, 96, 94, again. The man, I'm not here to say Fred is the next, right? Or Fred is Zidane or something. Or Fred is the next Patrick Vieira, or Fred is... I'm not saying none of that. But the idea, the amount of slander he gets, that slander should actually be directed at his brother. Oh, you're sharing your screen there?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll listen. Directed at his brother who?
His brother, McTominay. So McTominay should get a lot of the slander for just being so basic. The man... He only hits simple passes. Yeah. He does not support the team in terms of being where he should be to get the open pass, being where he should be to make interceptions, being where he should be to be in duels.
Mm-hmm.
And then even when he is in duels, for a man that does not overcommit, he does lose too many. There's so many times I'm watching him and I'm like, dog, you look like you're about 6'4", 6'3", 6'4".
A big guy.
Why are people bodying you as if they're big like Ronaldinho? They're not. Yeah, men like Mason Mount looking like if they big body on you or something. So he not winning tackles. He not actually being open for the pass. He not progressing the ball well. What is he actually doing? Just being tall? Just being there?
He might just being tall. All right,
just being there. So there's a part of because of his lack of football intelligence.
Wait, horse.
Hold on. And I'm not saying the man is dumb, all right, but I would say football
IQ, yeah.
Yeah, his football IQ is not very high in my opinion. And because of that, what it looks like he's being disciplined, but it's not really him being disciplined. It's just him not really realizing where he's supposed to go on his own. And I think some of this is what you see with. So I don't think Ole and his coaching staff coach a lot of set plays for how to progress the ball forward. So what you're seeing with Manchester United is a lot of the players' creativity kind of coming through. I think.
Yeah.
And I think in situations like this is where it kind of shows the players who are very intelligent. The players who get a lot of touches, the players who end up being on the ball a lot, the players who end up being in all of the actions are players who they have high IQ. The players who don't, because they can't be found, they're not actually where the play is and all this stuff. McTominay.
Pogba too.
All day long. Pogba have a different problem though. So as a side effect of me watching all this Fred, I'm starting to see Paul Pogba better now. Pogba IQ is very high, but the man is just lazy.
Lazy, yeah, he's very lazy.
I have seen Pogba see the pass that he needs to intercept and go, I'll just stretch and go, I try. And it's like, dog, I know you didn't just give me a stretch and then say hard luck. So now Pogba IQ is very high. His weakness is really he's lazy, and then he wants too much time on the ball.
Yeah, fandangle.
Which
right. He likes to play. He's very playful.
English Premier League and just football in general is not giving it that much time anymore. But it's weird though because he has quick feet. He has skillful feet for a tall man.
Yeah.
So he's able to beat and thing to create more time to do his fandangles. But yeah, in general, he needs too much time. So he is still a source of imbalance for Manchester United, I think. I think them at full strength, he kind of makes them a little weaker.
They need a winger.
I don't know. So I've agreed with a lot of people who say they need a right winger and a DM. That's true, but to be honest, what Cavani is showing as well is that without a very good center forward, all our right wing talk don't make no sense. Okay. Because all the creative play of a right winger, Rashford, Bruno, is nothing if the center forward doesn't know how to make runs for the team.
His movement was delightful Sunday.
It was a throwback to what the game has been missing with number 9s though.
Yeah. Even the disallowed goal, the movement he make, check back and then make it.
No, that's what number 9s do.
Even though Rodon didn't mark Dyer's back, great movement, good finish. That diving header.
Cavani shows class Sunday, honestly.
For sure.
At my admission, man.
What did you see?
Why you say Cavani what?
He showed his class Sunday. And I mean, I don't know if you'd stay, but I mean also too, I didn't want to interrupt your flow now as I came in, right? But it would be a bit redundant for me to say it, but I rate Fred a lot for a simple reason. You see that the man making effort to help the team. McTominay keeps himself, he's a risk-averse player. And he therefore he doesn't put himself in a position to make too much mistakes. As a result of that, he does something very basic and he's like, all right, well done, Scott, because you're not taking that risk.
And I'm giving him less credit than that. I'm just saying he happens to be there. And the times that he is there, he happens to be there. Because it's just, I don't see him, and the main thing that I'm talking about is players have to be able to assess a situation where, we're in trouble, let me be the out ball. Or that man in trouble, let me go and cover that space. He does not do that, dog. He just leave. Fred does leave. He just leave. Look how much time. Think about this, huh? So all the rate up, he just rate up AWB defensively. Look at how much time he does be one-on-one. Why is he one-on-one so often?
Because he does just leave me. Because
McTominay is not there. McTominay is supposed to be making it to where the person attacking AWB has to go outside.
Yeah.
He can't come inside. McTominay is there. Look how much time AWB is literally doing man mountain. He tackling two ways. He does a tackle one way and then do a back foot tackle spin kick. And it's like, where's McTominay? And he's just never where I think he should be. And then the moments where he is there to make a simple pass or whatever, I'm like, he was just there. The play happened to come where he was, kind of thing. He was standing up and the play come towards him. And he's just like, yeah. Boom.
So on the segue from AWB making them kind of tackle and we'll just come out and go back in. Should he start over Trent in England? All right. AWB, you say he does tackle. He had to make up for Scott's low IQ.
So first of all, before I get into this, let me hear your take. You saying AWB should be started or?
No, I was just choking that, but here's my pitch, right? For Trent being challenged at the position, which you get, what was he looking for? So the man get appalled because I say the man could be challenged, you know. Could be switched out tactically from, like if a team have a attacking left side, because he's trying to be so advanced, you can switch out a more defensive player for Trent. The man get vexed, you know, and say, I disrespecting Trent.
I still vex right now. I real vex right now still. But go ahead.
So my thought is, right, and this is how I would manage. Trent, on this form, yes, he scored a goal recently. Yes, Liverpool, oh gosh. He scored a goal recently. Great goal. Which, by the way, Reece could hit a few too, but I don't like Reece that much to defend him that way.
Which Reece James? Which Reece James? The one that can't start still? He still can't he's starting spot.
I try to understand what we argue. Right?
So,
what are we arguing?
No. What I'm saying is a more defensive-minded right back. When England are playing a stronger left side, I'm saying because Trent goes forward so much, and that maybe for that game, I'll play a more defensive-minded right back like Reece or AWB, right? Instead of Trent to compensate if you're playing Chilwell to go forward. That's all I said. And I keep saying Trent is not trash.
That's not all you say. But fair enough. For the purpose of this episode, that's all you say.
No. Before. What else I say, Andre? That was disrespectful and thing.
There was one that I had to quote and say this. Yeah, disrespectful.
Let me hear the quote.
Is when you said on form, they are the same level.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
And that is
on
mad
form?
Disrespect.
You know Trent form right now?
Have you seen what is
Trent arrow downwards, you know?
What are you basing all this
2 assists to Real Madrid?
What are you basing all this praise for Reece James on? Is my problem. My problem is not you saying on form Trent is lower. No, my problem is you saying Reece James is the same level on this form. Because Reece James has probably had 3 good games his whole Chelsea career so far.
That is disrespectful.
Reece James, listen, I don't wanna be too, exaggerated and thing. Exaggeration. Reece James probably has started 20 games over the 2 seasons. Or was it 2 seasons or 3 seasons? He's probably only started 20 games. The rest of it is substitutions. When teams tired, they change shape and burning out men, overlapping men, whatever. And based on that, man putting 3 cross and men say, woo! He had the thing, he had the sauce. Trent Alexander. So I never used to listen to Colin with his Liverpool, this guy, extra banter thing. But I'll tell you this right now. I'm of the view, if Trent played for Manchester United, if Trent played for, who else people like in England? It's Manchester United. If Trent played for Real Madrid, this type of slander that is, he in bad form, so he should lose his spot.
Nobody. I did not say lose.
Impossible.
I said on this form he could be challenged for it. Why is that a problem?
Because, like I said to you, it's one thing if the conversation is so. The example I tried to give you was, it's one thing if you're talking Michael to Dani Alves and Dani Alves not informed, so Mike can take his spot. You're talking about 2 equally talented, quote unquote, equally talented, two guys that are, I hate the term, but generational talent, right? 2 guys who know legit, you're not going to see a player that quality again. Okay, that is not England's situation. Trent Alexander, his ceiling, I understand what his current form is, supposedly, right? His ceiling...
Anyway, all right.
I will get into the supposedly next. But his ceiling, dog, the man has posted numbers and performances in a Liverpool system.
Yes.
that yes, while some Liverpool fans get carried away and calling them Beckham and all kind of thing, whatever. Okay, yes, that's overstated, but you cannot understate just how good the youth man has been. Like the man has been. I'll be on. I'll say it now. Him on form, like in his best form, he is the best right back in the world. He's the right back I would have on my team. Period. Because what it means is, in terms of stretching teams, in terms of having multiple ways of breaking down teams, you have another like bona fide. The man is hitting numbers as if he is Kevin De Bruyne, though. The man is hitting expected assists, key passes, blah blah blah, like Kevin De Bruyne, though, from right back, and he's not having to do it from literally at the edge of the box. He's doing it from like the halfway line. He's hitting these passes, right? You cannot understate the amount of quality this youth has, and he's not a one trick where he needs to have all this time to line up his perfect cross and thing. You could rush him out with his best cross. The man has touches enough to create space to hit his cross and whatever. The amount of quality he has, the step down to Reece James is like falling off a cliff. The example I gave you is you're literally saying, if you're saying, oh, on form they're the same, that's like saying when Dani Alves was in bad form. I remember there was a stretch he was in bad form and Cristiano was getting the better of him and Di Maria was getting the better of him and people were starting to give Dani Alves talk for a second, right? That's like saying in that moment, Cicinho was the same level as him. Cicinho. You're talking about a player who, look, Reece James, yes, he hit a good shot. Yes, he hit some crosses that is like, ooh, that's real devil on that cross, whatever. But he has not demonstrated anything there what Trent has. And I think maybe we get so used to the ridiculousness that we forgetting, oh, it is not normal for a right back.
It's clearly not normal because this season
to be having 15, 16 assists.
Right. Well, and then put it in context. Context. One thing, right? Yeah, remember, it's 3 English right backs we're trying to compare here, right? Mm-hmm. From the time you do anything good for 2 games straight in English, you know what's going to happen, right?
That's very true. That's very true. That's an English. There's an English heritage of acting as if form matters more than everything else.
Right.
So I think genuinely this man go down get in the damn team, but we will talk about him later, right? Lingard might actually get in the damn team.
He already in the team. He played the last.
Inside. As a Manchester United fan, if I had to pick a right back for England, I'm picking Trent. Then Wan-Bissaka. And I'll think about if I include Reece James, right? Mm-hmm. The limitations on I don't want to say limitations. The downside on Trent is Wan-Bissaka upside and vice versa. Wan-Bissaka upside.
If I picking us up for Trent, I wouldn't even be Reece. Reece will be the third choice. Walker had to be there. But
Kyle Walker.
So I'll be honest, my 3. So if I don't know how much right backs the man takes.
Yes, hopefully 2. Because you don't need that many right backs.
But he might take Kyle Walker because that allows you to play 3-5-2 or 4.
Yeah, you take Walker.
But right, I would take Trent, Kyle, and Reece James, to be honest. So AWB, to be honest, AWB, Jose kind of touched on it. He is so bad going forward that he literally
he's a liability.
He literally only works if your team is going to be one-sided. So you're going to attack left side mostly, and therefore the right side is safe. Kind of like this is how Barcelona was when Ronaldinho was there. I think the right side used to be very defensive. And then the left side used to be Ronaldinho and the man overlapping Silvinho and thing. But if AWB has to play, then it's going to be Luke Shaw and Rashford or Grealish. That's all England is going to have to attack through.
You Chilwell boy? Luke Shaw starting for sure?
Yeah, well, Luke Shaw has to start.
He will start.
I will give Luke Shaw his flowers. He deserves to start.
You will start.
So for me, AWB causes a sacrifice to the whole team, because that means now if you're going to attack down the left, what happened to Sancho on the right? Or Sterling or whoever going to play right? What happened to them? Now the team can't really play on that side because he would have no support on that side. There's no overlapping. There's nothing.
He actually overlaps well, but he just doesn't have a cross.
He's now learning to overlap.
He overlaps
Andre. He now learning to overlap because he was killing
Andre.
Because he
listen to what I'm saying.
He was no offense, nothing going forward.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Crosses are there yet.
He overlaps
right?
well.
So he never used to overlap.
But what,
because he wasn't making sense overlapping.
What he doesn't do after the overlap is do anything productive.
I wish I could do the meme. I wish I could do the meme from the wire where the man go.
You don't find he overlaps well?
Wow.
He always there. He always an outlet.
He's starting to overlap now because in his first season, that was his big problem. Really, with United, that was his big problem.
You're talking to a man who was a week in, week out Micron fan. So I know what the overlap does look like. Hold on. Hold on. There's levels to what overlap.
I just said the man overlap. He's a support on the wide to the touchline. AB Wan-Bissaka does that. After he just turns back and passes it inside. That's all he does.
I'm gonna let you finish and then say, all right, but there's just like so you remember how people talk about Frank Lampard, what made him special was he knew when to arrive.
Yeah.
Overlapping is a skill with that as well. The top quality, so Micah and Dani Alves, I just talked about Silvinho, oddly, Ashley Cole. Top quality wing backs, it's not just being there, because sometimes you're being there and you're clogging up what it is, what the play is.
Hey, that's the only thing going down the right for Manu, anyway.
So,
AWB, that's why he had to learn to do it.
AWB has not yet learned the timing of overlapping or underlapping. So, in the moment when he should be, he's not there. And look, I ain't mad at him. I'm not mad at him. That's whatever. It is what it is. No doubt, on the defensive side, he is one of the best one-on-one defenders I've ever seen. Like no doubt. I'll give him that easily.
I'll tell you the one. If he was any good on his feet, he'd be the best defensive player in the world. He just like to skate tackle too much. Everything.
I don't like it. I don't like it because it's too risky.
No, that's all he does. He doesn't tackle on his feet at all.
Yeah.
but look at me. But like he's a good one-on-one. Like I don't even want to say one-on-one defender. He's a good one-on-one like tackler, right?
Well,
like defensively, he's kind of unaware sometimes too. Like he's not aware. What's happening around him, kind of thing.
I talking 1v1. I face you
tackling.
Tackle.
But anyway, the idea that
Trent and nobody else. Don't walk with no sub right back.
What I'm telling you is the fact that we even having this conversation is so so slanderous. Listen to me. You don't understand. You don't as a serious football man. The amount of Nigerian man I tell all about who's real talk. He have a phrase, right? He have a phrase. He say unserious. So the amount of unseriousness it takes to say that based on all right. I'm gonna talk about the supposed bad form. Okay.
Yeah.
So evidently, people get this fed where they believe you could just drop a man into centre back, a defender into centre back, and he's a ball playing centre back now. So, everything is fine. Liverpool have not had their two centre backs for the whole damn season. Right? They've also not, as a result of dropping their defensive midfielders into centre back, they've also not have a proper defensive midfielder whole season. Okay. And then they went and buy Idea Man. Sorry, I don't want to disrespect Idea Man. Sorry. But they went and buy Idea Man, who is not really a defensive midfielder, right? Okay. What that means is you're literally talking about for your wing backs, what is their coverage anyway?
No, defend.
Huh?
Defend, Trent. Defend.
Okay.
With that.
So
Robbo.
So it's as simple as, okay, what you calling, they're targeting him and it's because he's weak? No, because you have enough documented evidence of he is not that weak. He has faced off Mbappe, he has faced off Rashford, he has faced off Neymar, he has faced... How much players this man play against on the 2 runs to the final in UCL? The absolute best man in Europe. and he wasn't the weak link on you. Hold on, he wasn't the weak link on Liverpool team at full strength. Liverpool team, they wasn't targeting Trent. I'll tell you that much, right? All of a sudden this season, when the center is soft, they start to target wing backs though, and they're targeting the wing back who is the most advanced wing back. So it makes sense. If he's the one that advances, he advances further. Go ahead. I see you're biting your mouth. Like, go ahead.
Van Dijk, continue.
if literally you're seeing that in this season where there's soft center, straight through the center, it's soft. All of a sudden, what team's doing is like we stretch. We go on the right side and hit a diagonal across to the left and see what happens. Because now that centre back don't know how to cover Trent properly, doing all kind of weird nonsense. Trent himself now shaky because he's like, oh dog, I don't know if this man gonna know when I head the ball to him. I'm gonna try to do a jump kick on it or whatever. Right? Men running at idea man tried to foul, miss. Now it's Trent one-on-one from the half line. From half line, you one-on-one all of a sudden. Against Vicinius. Right? Vinicius, sorry. It's just people talking about Trent in isolation where it doesn't make sense. You're talking about a team that just based on their injuries and lack of proper coverage, it just means that they are soft center. So that means absolutely target the width and see what happens.
Stretch on.
Well, he better learn to defend in how many days? 2 days?
The man can defend. The man has them like again, and this is like the English disease. the English disease of putting far too much weight on form, not realizing form is less individual than you think. So you're acting as if he's in bad form, and therefore that should affect the way I view this player in totality and all this stuff. When it's Liverpool is in bad form.
Hey, you don't show Salah the same respect. Go ahead.
Yes, I do. I don't know where you get this thing that I battle Salah somewhere. I never say that. Anyway, the dog, it is almost it is scandalous. The idea of talking about Trent need to be dropped. Trent places up for grabs. Trent. So I even see Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher going back and forth. Oh, Trent mightn't even make the squad. Trippier.
In this form, he shouldn't.
Kieran Trippier. It's gonna be Kieran Trippier, AWB, and Kyle Walker.
I forgot about him.
Trent is not on the plane. Right? How scandalous that is. Like, I actually wasted a lot of time even saying this right now.
On this form, Trent can make job rotate. So.
Yeah. Like I said, the other analogy, the attacking analogy would be, I said it to you, right?
KDB versus
Mertens, right? It's like saying, KDB, because KDB had a period, was it last season when he was out of form?
Last season, he was injured
and out of form.
Out of form.
He was out of form, he ain't really...
I would have started Mertens.
Yeah, you would have started Mertens over KDB.
Inform Mertens, yes sir.
He out of form.
Yes.
Right? Madness. It's just...
If I try to win games, hard luck.
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
Well, that why club suffering like he does. Anyway, so in talking about form now, Messi, Lingard, you said he shouldn't make England's team?
No.
Wow.
No,
what you had to do? What you had to do again, Andre?
Who's spot you taking?
And that's the problem. Who's what you going to say?
Anybody on.
So tell me. So
Mason Mount.
Look, you look at him. So you look at him. You look at him in isolation and you say, "Dog, good for him. He's playing good. He's float between the lines. He have a good threat of a shot.
Run from box to box and score.
Great.
Who's spot you taking?
Now tell me which player?
Yeah.
Which player out of, and this is the players, huh? This is the players. Which player out of James Maddison, Jack Grealish,
bye Maddison,
Mason Mount,
bye Mason Mount,
Phil Foden,
I don't even like Foden.
Which of those players, right?
Choose.
Jesse Lingard on top form
is
better than what they could bring to the team. For me, for me, the closest is Foden. Foden is the one who could be threatened.
Maddison should make that team for me. He ain't doing enough this season.
Bro.
Yes.
What are you talking about? He has been injured, and that's the only reason why he wasn't.
Too bad.
When he wasn't injured, you had him in the FPL team because he was hitting numbers.
And he never scored for me.
Yeah.
Bye.
The one when you take too long to buy him, and when you buy him, you get injured.
Bye-bye, Maddison. Get fit.
Maddison is...
You would take an unfit Maddison when you trying to win a cup.
Absolutely.
Nah. He ain't that good.
I don't have the energy to go back and forth. Like it's not even, for me, it's not even a debatable thing. The two best footballers that kind of Spanish mold or whatever that England have is Maddison and Grealish as footballers.
My philosophy as a coach, unless you are Ronaldinho or Messi, is play as you play, though. Hard luck. That is my philosophy as a coach. Hard luck.
Now Lingard can't make that team though, but knowing England and how England is operates with men who on form and men who whatever, Gareth Barry making team before, I think back then the drama was before Michael Carrick, right?
Knowing England, players you call it. So anyway.
But knowing England, it is very real possibility all of the above we just talked about happens. So it's very possible Trent doesn't make the plane.
Players you play, dog.
It's very possible Maddison doesn't make the plane.
He shouldn't.
It's very possible. Who's the next one? Nah, nobody else, right? It's not nobody else they're talking about.
Because you probably play 5 games for the league. You should make that side? Nah, dog. Hard luck.
Maddison.
Hard luck. Play as you play, dog.
Okay. you want to know why England trophy cabinet empty?
Why? Because of that?
Very, very, very unserious, as the boys say. Unserious decisions. Time and time again, acting as the inventors of football, they know more than everybody else now. Everybody else just choose their best players from a young age and keep trying to push it through that same team. England want to keep pulling, we're going to pull our joker this time. We're going to put Jesse Lingard in and let it go on them. Right? Every competition, they're always doing the same thing. They want to pull out some ace. Some ace they have. And every time, what's the same thing? They go lose. This time, instead of Iceland, they go lose to Finland.
So let me put this out to you, right? A man having a banger of a season. You would go on who you think is the better footballer instead of who having a bang of a season. That's what you say.
Ultimately, on national team,
yeah,
it's more about you choose a system for your national team, and you basically work with that system continuously and players that fit that system, in my opinion. Unless, and I'm talking, Doug, unless you're talking about a player like Trent, a player like Salah, or a player who most certainly is such a huge outlier. Such a huge outlier in the performance and in the role that is like, you know what, I need to make an exception. I need to change my system to incorporate this player. Jesse Lingard is not that player.
So let me ask you, play devil's advocate. In this form, you would put Salah, like say he would be an Englishman, you would put Salah in your team on this form.
Salah is starting ahead of Sancho every single day of the week for the rest of my life.
In this form?
In this form.
All right.
Because Salah is still Salah. And that's like the idea. I mean, conceptually, me choosing a player over Salah means that I think Salah actually has gone bad. This is not Timo Werner we're talking about. This is not a player with a crisis of confidence that on scoring goals or something. Right? This is okay. Your team down bad.
Yeah.
So you can see your overall kind of lack of confidence in the team with they're gonna win this game. They ain't had that no more. Okay.
The club cycle. Anyway, go ahead.
But you're still seeing Salah taking on men and getting it shut off. You're still seeing ball bounce off somebody else and thing. You're still seeing the signs that dog, yeah, he gonna score. And he has still. I'm sure he's still first on the charts or second.
Yeah, he first or second. Yeah.
Despite being off, he's still first or second on the charts in a season in which people talking about Harry Kane has had one of his best seasons. He's still scoring the same as Harry Kane, and he off.
You know that number of assists with Harry Kane too. But
I understand, but here's this guy in his off season, still doing it. So for me, and this is for any serious country except England, you never see this sort of stupid calls being made. You're not going to see Spain all of a sudden. Oh, World Cup.
Spain have plenty nepotism though. But anyway, go ahead. World
Cup coming up. All of a sudden, I'm gonna choose Nolito over Fernando Torres because Nolito in form. Like what? Fernando Torres, in the slump of his life, still got picked for Spain though. Fernando Torres.
What year was that?
I don't know. 2000. I don't know. Like either 12 is 12, 8 or 12.
Fernando for Chelsea should not have been picked for anything. Go ahead.
Fernando Torres, slump of his life, will still be picked for Spain.
Right.
Because the idea is we have a system. The quality of this player doesn't die overnight. They could have confidence issues. Yes, they could be missing chances and stuff like that. But the idea that this player will not be in the squad, I could understand you saying he's not in form, so he started a game and then you take him off. You had to bring on the sub who is a player who is more in form.
Yeah.
I understand that. But you're gonna drop Maddison for Lingard is the idea.
Again, Maddison has been very injured. I don't know what for me, and I can't make a case for Maddison. Even though I'm trolling for Trent, but I didn't even say Trent need to lose his pick, you know. That is not what I said. No, I never said that. Anyway, but like I can't get past Trent even being challenged. Anyway, let's move past.
That's real disrespect. That's real disrespect.
Horse.
I promise you, if he played for Manchester United, this conversation doesn't exist.
Horse,
Manchester
I don't think now. Anyway,
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying. Look, I know you are not a Manchester United fan, but I'm saying there's a lot more people who are Manchester United fans than I realize. And I think the hugeness of that base changes what conversations are. So there's a line being blurred between banter in Liverpool and then being serious about the reality of the hierarchy of things, right?
Yeah, right now the chat.
Men on so much banter that they actually start to believe that in reality, he shouldn't be on the plane.
I wouldn't say that.
Anyway.
Wouldn't say that. Last 20 minutes we'll get in Manager of the Year and Team of the Week. So Manager of the Year. So you're saying no way Moyes should get that?
I think I don't believe in this is my Jose colors coming out.
The last 10 minutes we could pump it out in this.
Yeah, so I don't believe in participation points though.
Wow. So
I get it. West Ham shouldn't be fourth, so them accomplishing fourth is that you still come fourth though.
Wow.
So because here's the problem with the logic of trying to say that's a greater accomplishment is saying that basically are you suggesting that based on a squad talent you are guaranteed winning a title, and that is not true. That's the reality that Alex Ferguson has shown since he left. What has happened? Okay, it is not true that just because you are the biggest wage bill, you are the best players, that means you're going to win a title. Do not downplay the significance of Manchester City were in a crisis in the beginning of the season. That man was 8th and 10th and thing, I think, I can't remember how low they got.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know.
They were very low.
They were probably second. Or third or fourth.
They did get pretty low. They did get pretty, like, around
They couldn't score.
Everton was top of the league. West Ham was second. Leicester was third. All kind of thing, right? And then City was like 8th. They couldn't score no goals. They dropping points. They lose game here, conceding goals, all kind of thing.
I think Leicester hit them 5 or something.
Leicester hit them real goals. Aston Villa hit them real goals. No, that was Liverpool. Leeds hit City real goals,
but I don't know how much
they beat them.
Yeah.
But anyway, people are, it's almost like the disrespecters acting as if Pep shouldn't get credit for the win.
Nah,
and it's like,
Pep.
But it's like, no, dog. He had, ultimately, for Manchester City, this was a challenging year because there were big changes. That David Silva, that Leroy Sané gone, and who's the other one gone?
I don't know.
Who did Diaz replace?
Diaz?
Company? But Company was like 2 years ago though.
Laporte. Anyway, he replaced Laporte early this season. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll say Laporte.
But City navigated a transition and a terrible start.
Yeah.
And then went on an unprecedented win run or something, right? Or loss/run or something, right? Well, not unprecedented. Obviously, all you guys have the Invincibles still, you know. Can't take that from me and thing. But
dusty, right?
They went on they went on this run that means no Pep. So Pep is the manager of the year. The man made Gundogan into a double-figure goal getting dude out of nowhere. And people talking about, he find his Dortmund form. Gundogan wasn't scoring goals like this in Dortmund, though. He wasn't scoring goals like this. Back then, he was Xavi-esque. He was a Xavi man, deep line dude, right? Gundogan scoring how much goals he had now? Like,
he stopped on 10. He's scoring now.
Give the man his flowers. Give Pep his flowers. Don't wait until he dead or until he retired to start saying all kind of thing. And he was the greatest man. Like, no,
get him fraud, right. Boy. I don't think anybody like Pep like that, way, unless he's a City fan now, boy.
Frau. You ever see the interview where he called himself the ball fraud?
Yeah, the ball fraud. I see it. I'm ball fraud. Yeah.
Now he's the manager of the year. Does for you though?
Well, this wasn't really my idea, it's my brother's idea. He said for sure, right? The high-flying West Ham, for sure. Moyes, right now, they're getting nosebleeds, Andre. They've never been so high. They could almost touch the sky. The squad, I mean, the only thing about West Ham I think is really crazy is that the team just looks solid. It's not no different team that Pellegrini had. It's not different players per se. They were just grinding out results.
There are some different players.
Who would get that Pellegrini didn't have beside Lingard?
So they had some.
They had Hala.
Essential. I'll say they got some essential upgrades.
Who?
So Declan Rice and Souček.
Declan Rice was there before.
He was. But his role changed significantly when Mark Noble get dropped.
Okay.
So with Mark Noble getting older and dropping thing, that released the shackles on Declan Rice. So now he could be a two-way midfielder and not just sitting. As a sitting midfielder, he's real basic. As a two-way midfielder, he's showing that the man could ball actually. He could actually real ball. Like he could do Toure-esque run from deep dog. He can. Anyway. I said ask. No. All right. Maybe I went too far. Anyway. So you have them two. So Souček and him, big. Soufal as the right back was a big signing for them. That changed the game for them.
Solid.
Dawson that they buy, Craig Dawson, centre back, big signing. Right? Because that changed because their centre backs were always kind of soft between what's the Colombian dude name?
Diop and somebody else.
Alright, Diop and Angelo Ogbonna. It's Italian. Between them two, they used to always have moments of nonsense. Yeah, one of them get dropped one time, and they will both fight for the other spot because Dawson have it. And then Cresswell having one of his best seasons.
Solid.
And I don't know, was Cresswell always there? I feel like
he was always there.
Anyway, so like he reborn or whatever, right? So there's that. And then to be honest, this stupid Jared Bowen that I made fun of earlier.
Hard running, man. Could beat men, could finish.
He's been essential for that right wing because before that is Yarmolenko and people playing around. People people who have supposed to have higher upside.
This guy who they loaned out and had to come back and take the Brazilian.
Felipe Anderson, right? Wait, like they had a lot of. So look, the man, but again, you know, Jose will say specialist in failure. Like all that sound nice, but if you're not gonna win, what's the point of all this talk, right? So obviously they deserve credit for being so solid and actually being in the top 4 for so long. But in my opinion, this is me being harsh, but my opinion, they are in 4th because the other teams are not serious. If Arsenal was more serious, West Ham will not be 4th. If Tottenham was more serious, West Ham will not be 4th. These teams are underperforming their squad, and they are allowing decent teams to be top of the league, close to the top of the league.
So Leicester and West Ham shouldn't be there.
No way. Like let me be real. The teams that should be top of the league are the teams that could actually give Manchester City a real game. Not a game where they defended well. Teams that genuinely they put a good game on Manchester City and could actually challenge them for beating them up. And that is Manchester United could do that. Tottenham supposedly should be able to do that. Arsenal supposedly should be able to do that. Liverpool should be able to do that. So with these 4 teams not being serious, of course, that opens up the realm of possibilities for all these teams that are literally dog. If you think about it, Vardy is having a terrible season by his standards. He's having he's dipping, right? So Leicester are not up there because of the strength of their attacking. Leicester are up there because they're being consistent and not dropping shipping points, right? West Ham are not there because of Mikel Antonio having a bomb season or something. West Ham are literally there because they're being consistent and not dropping shipping points.
Yeah.
So you have teams that are higher in the league simply because they are not being unserious. Simply because they're saying, you know what, every game I'm going to go in and be serious. Meanwhile, Tottenham have one game, they beat up teams and everybody, they're back. Next game, garbage. Next game, they throw away a 3-0 deficit in Europa League.
Yeah.
Arsenal have a good game against some teams. Next game, come out, garbage. Aubameyang, even whatever. Captain. Right? What's the next team I just talked about? And then, of course, there's Liverpool with Idea Man, right? Liverpool, the summary of Liverpool's season is Idea Man. Oh, yeah, touches and thing. But then what are you actually doing, though? What are you doing? So,
my season.
Right. Sure. But, for me, the idea of giving a lot of credit to teams that are, they're not genuinely challenging to win anything, but they're overperforming what they should be. All right, that cool. But that's kind of dishonest to the reality of it's dishonest. It's disingenuous because, right, you can't ignore that it's only this way because blah, blah, blah. So give them credit, yes. Give them the credit. Maybe get him man a manager of the month. Maybe get him man a most improved. I don't know. The kind of awards that exist for this kind of thing, right? Most improved, most blah, whatever. But to be serious and say, that is the manager of the year. Get real, though. The manager of the year, we hope, like, if your job as a football manager, your job as a football team is to win games. If your team didn't cumulatively win the most games, how the hell you could be the best? How you could seriously watch me you watching me dead in my field. You didn't win. And you saying, but I'm the best. How are you the best? You didn't win the most games. You didn't win the most points. You didn't actually win any silverware. You are the best.
So
no, you're good.
So basically, what you're saying, anybody who win the Prem should win manager of the year.
It depends on the nature of the win. But yes, for the most part, the medals should be with the winners. It's kind of, look, legitimately, it's the same thing I would say about Bielsa. As much as I like Bielsa, Sure, I like how he's trying to play football, whatever. Okay, great. Ultimately, it looks good. Good games. But as as a manager where your mandate, hey, win the most games, you're not winning the most games. As a matter of fact, teams have a very good feeling playing you because they could bust you up.
Yeah. 50-50.
And West Ham, same thing. Nobody is backing West Ham to beat any of the big six in any games. The fact that we're even talking about them overperforming to be fourth tells you everything that people seeing. Like people watching the team and saying, yeah, it will be a miracle if they could be top four. Because they're not that good. They're not that good, in fairness. So I'm saying, so if you have a competition where it's like for example would be like Liverpool and City. I forget what year that was. Where it was tight.
1 point, the whatever close.
Right. So a situation like that, sure, the winner could end up being the manager of the second place team, because in that situation, it's like, no, this team cumulatively they lost by 1 point, but you could see, okay, this team had better performances in general. Whatever they lost, they dropped 2 points in 2 games where that was the mistake, and that's why they lose. Sure, it's close. But if you're talking about, dog, City is how much points ahead with how much games in hand and based on what kind of winning streak and all kind of... Stop it. Respect the man. Respect the man. I'll play it this way. And again, this is me buying into the Liverpool conspiracies here for a second. If Pep was Sir Alex Ferguson, this is not up for debate. If this was, instead of it being Manchester City, it was Manchester United, and Sir Alex Ferguson had navigated a terrible start, and Aguero was out, no goal scoring, blah, blah, blah. And then Ferguson figured out a way to get Michael Carrick to score 10 goals. We will be talking about Sir Alex Ferguson with a tactical masterclass in rediscovering the potential of Michael Carrick, and he's the greatest of all time, and this is one of the most signature genius demonstrations, one for the record books. He should be knighted again. He's Sir Alex Ferguson. Like, we'll be talking all kind of thing where it's not Manchester United, it's not Sir Alex, so now we're acting as if, well, they spend so much money over these 3 years that, he should win, So, yeah.
Take win, though. You was in your bag tonight, though. Take win, though. Take win.
I find I real talk tonight, eh?
You was in your bag tonight.
You supposed to be talking.
You had some stuff on your chest, though.
Maybe.
I was here to be the Carrick. I will keep the ball rolling. A ball recycler, I call it.
I prefer you say Guy Barrios because he got the spot on the team.
Like that one hurt you too, boy.
That didn't hurt me. That hurt people. That hurt Manchester. Again, I see it real Manchester United men, dog. I didn't know. There's so much of them. So I see men bringing up thing 2004 and thing talking about it.
Serious?
Still sour. So.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that.
Tough times, man.
Yeah, dog. I mean, good episode. You carry it. You had some stuff to get off your chest.
But throw dry now. Alright, we good.
Yeah, dog. I'll probably pump out the team of the week on Old Faithful TikTok tomorrow. See what's up.
Yeah.
All right.
This week has some. Anyway, just go to the FPL Dream Team. FPL Dream Team is a good start. It's kind of what's going on, right?
Nah, I'll choose my team. You know who must be on it? Laka.
I know. I know that was coming.
Later.
Yeah.